Happy Gay Father's Day.
Hey, are you guys gay dads? Did I not see you on Ellen?
On our road to Stonewall, Will and Grace. It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And your host, fashion designer Carlos Marrero, lifestyle expert Napoleon plays, trans activist Aaron Phoenix, reality star Chef Josie, DJ Diva Power Infiniti, Log Cabin Republican Joe Brookman, and our host, Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, good evening, America, and welcome to a very special edition of It's Happening Out, America's most popular live gay talk show. We're coming to you, of course, from the Grand Hotel here in Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors, Florida. We always affectionately say the gayest place on planet Earth. And this special edition of It's Happening Out is special because it's June 12th. There's no gay person on this planet that does not know what June 12th means. We celebrate tonight the third anniversary of remembering Pulse. And all through the show, as we discuss gay culture and our gay community, we're going to have Pulse in our minds. I want to first welcome everybody to the show tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Why are you waving?
Because it's going to be fun, and because you made it heavy talking about Pulse. We're here to make it light to you guys. There's a lot of fun segments.
Yes.
I'm leading a segment. It's going to be great.
Yeah, wait till you hear Napoleon's segment, by the way. Prepare. All right. So, first off, look at the faces that are back. First off, this one over here, Joe Brookman is back.
Look at that suit.
And I was going to say, our log cabin Republican is pink as gay as possible tonight here at It's Happening Out. Welcome back, Joe.
Thank you.
And also our favorite girl, Chef Josie, and you're just back from Bali, and 14 hours in Paris,
and 12 hours in Amsterdam.
And Amsterdam on the return.
I almost got lost coming home.
Yes, next week we're going to tell you all about her trip to Bali. She has just basically gotten off the plane, kinda, and so try to stay with us and don't fall asleep.
I'll try.
Try not to do what you normally do at It's Happening Out.
Right.
Yeah. Right, exactly. All right, first things first. We have lots of interesting things to show you and talk about tonight. As we told you, we're coming from the Grand Hotel here in Fort Lauderdale. This is our host home. We encourage you, if you come to South Florida, this is the place to stay. We're only about, 5 minutes, 8 minutes from the famous Wilton Drive, right here in the heart of the gayest place on planet Earth. We ask you to share us and start a watch party tonight. We're going to do many interesting things. You're going to see some unique things in our celebration of Pulse, and lots of things are going to go on with that. And I draw your attention to right in the center of the table. Two friends of mine, and the most famous representation, we think, of Pulse in terms of those of the 49 is Edward Sotomayor, very famous Top Hat Eddie, and we have his hat sitting right here in the middle of our table tonight as we celebrate Pulse, and we're going to mention many people connected with it in terms of our celebration. So stay tuned, because we're going to talk about our Pulse remembrance and memorial. Next news, let me tell you about what's happened over the last 2 weeks. We have exciting news. First off, we tell you that It's Happening Out is the most popular live gay talk show in America. Well, we continue to say, since we've started in September of 2018, we think and thank you for the growth. May 29th, a record 362,000 of you watched It's Happening Out. Thank you very much. Very exciting in terms of what's going on. Last week, 351,000 of you watched the show. Even as you see this slide, even more exciting. In the last 7 days, between June 5th and June 11th, and these were days that Josie wasn't here, which is probably why they've been so successful.
We're probably going to blow it out of the water this week. Okay.
Look at this number. In terms of all of the programming that it's had, that's a funny joke, actually. In all of the programming that It's Happening Out has done, in terms of the various viewers that have watched, 1,219,240 of you have watched different programs. What does that mean? That means, on average, in the last 7 days, 121 of you are watching every minute of every hour of every day, 24 hours a day. That's how many people have watched It's Happening Out related products and the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, America, for making us the most popular live gay talk show in America. So remember, like us. Remember, we're a live show. So whatever this one says, I'm sorry I can't edit it out. I wish I could. I wish I had a magic wand to just change all of this, but I don't.
However this one looks, feel free to comment. Maybe that even means that we should have a new segment, just roast Al Ferguson. We could have comments just from all the viewers at home on what needs to change from you.
See, no. See, and this is what's going to happen all through the show. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to hit a bullseye, and this one's going to try to keep up and probably
I think
not
it's because your
accomplish
eyesight's
it.
going in bullseye to you. It's like 10 over there.
All right.
That's all right.
Okay. All right. So like us and subscribe. We're live in all the major platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, etc., and so on.
Guys.
All right. Right.
Oh, Josie, I missed you so much.
I did
oh
too.
my goodness.
In fact, Josie texted me when she landed, and I said, "Oh gosh, thank you for coming back. I really need some." And this is true, right? I used the word normalcy. I need some normalcy in
He
my
didn't
life.
realize he was going to miss his lesbian friend.
Yes,
His
so
token
much,
lesbian.
so
As
much.
as he
Exactly
did,
right,
know?
exactly right.
Hold
Time.
on. Speaking of missing, shout out to Aaron.
Aaron.
Oh,
Yes.
thank
We miss you, Aaron.
Is not here tonight.
And to
Aaron did
Carlos.
send me a text and said to say that he misses all of us. And we will see him later on this week.
Yeah, that's
and
right. And
Carlos
Aaron,
is
is
also
that all
gone.
you want to
Carlos
do a
Marrero.
shout out for? Carlos Marrero.
Our love boy is
and
gone.
Carlos Marrero. Well, Carlos should have sent me a text and reminded me that he didn't hear
damn.
Aaron.
So, yeah, I was going to follow up that with Carlos because
Right.
I just spoke to him this afternoon. He's in Chicago spending time with his family from Puerto
Well,
Rico.
Yes.
Everyone is like...
Actually, that's not true. He's in Chicago because he's 2 weeks late for IML, and he got the dates wrong. He got off the plane in Chicago. Carlos, we miss you. Aaron, we miss you.
Carlos and Aaron, my two Bristers, I love you.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
love
All
you.
right, let's move into the show. We all set, ready to start?
Let's get it.
Let's move on. All right, first off, we start each week. We start with the meme of the week. Let's do something fun. Here's our meme of the week. It's called Super Bitchy Friends. Look at our meme.
Hey, I got it already. It's like this table right now.
Yeah, and it's sitting next to me, America.
Yeah. Yes.
When you
Bitchy,
don't
I'm a puppy.
even need to use your superpower, our evil, that's Napoleon on the left, isn't it? I will destroy you all. And then Power says, whatever, look at those clothes. And Josie says, and those shoes. And I say, she's a mess.
Wait, you really think that if anyone here is an evil villain, it's not you?
No, it's Napoleon.
If anyone here said,
It's
I will
definitely
destroy
Napoleon.
you
That's-
all, it's
that's
definitely
that's
not
our meme of a
Ferguson.
week. Let's move on to the best thing of the week. Okay. I prepare you, America. I give a child-sensitive warning for minors. Parents, cover your ears and your eyes because we want to show you the best thing of the week, which is called the ball barber. Watch this.
You gotta have balls to come into this place. I'm Gilroy Cunnings and I run Brooklyn Ball Barbers, New York's original manscaping barbershop. Our most popular styles include the lightning bolt, flat tops, bullseyes, the brodazzle, crosshatch, heart shapes, full bald, cornrows, landing strips, and the comb over. We do handlebars, truckers, and chaplains. Our work covers all areas from the belly button to the chode, and we make sure each customer is fully satisfied before they leave our shop. And not to mention your dick pic game will be second to none. Some customers come in just for the shampoo and massage. And for customers with pubes over 8 inches in length, we can arrange a donation to Cocks of Love, a local charity bringing merkins to those in need.
Could I have the bald?
Due to the scrotum's uneven surface, there's only one way to give a fully bald finish.
I like a lot of hairy guys, but 8 inches of pubes is like a lot to get through.
I mean, that runway, did you see that runway? That was like a next level runway.
I saw this in production this afternoon. I came back from our host meeting and they showed this to me, and all through the video, I had my hands over my mouth going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And they go, it's fake. It's from Comedy Central.
It is fake.
To the whole table, have, not Josie, but have the rest of you had your balls shaved off at any point? Not the balls, but the hair at any point?
No, but
by a significant other or by
I was
going to
look him up
By
to see
yourself,
if
by another,
he
by-
did Jerry curl.
Right. All right.
It's big in the leather community to go without hair.
It's
on
our
the
favorite
balls.
thing of the week. It's a very funny video.
I mean,
it's
like,
disgusting
I know about,
and
like,
horrifying.
shaving each other,
All
you
right.
know?
All right.
It's a submissive act if you shave
I
your balls first.
want to move on to our first segment of the night, and that is our celebrity hot topics. There's lots of big issues in the news with celebrities. Number one, have you heard about Madonna? Madonna's coming to New York in 2 weeks, and she's going to play Gay Pride in New York City. And I hear that basically she is working for free at Gay Pride. And we're showing you a slide about it. Everybody loved Madonna, our girl,
Hell
our material
yeah.
girl.
Are you kidding me?
It's not a good choice?
I don't think it's a good choice. I mean, if you want the parade to start 4 hours late, then yeah.
Ooh,
being there.
Lord.
I'll let her know when I see her.
Wait, I'm sorry. Production's telling me that there's somebody on the phone that would like to talk to Napoleon. All right, Madonna's playing Gay
If Madonna calls,
Pride.
I'm not here.
That's right. Other big news. Remember celebrity hot topics? Remember last week we reported on straight pride and that nonsense that's going on all across America? Well, they put the guy that was coordinating and promoting straight pride in Boston, he's kind of shaking in his boots because they did a report and they did a video saying the representation of straight pride is Brad Pitt. Well, look what happened this week. Brad Pitt says, if you don't take my picture out, I'm going to sue the crap out of you. And Brad Pitt said there's absolutely no way he's going to be associated with straight pride, and he completely supports the LGBT community. And that happened this week in the news.
That's
No,
wonderful.
none of our gay icons are ashamed to represent our pride. So that
That's
should
right.
tell you
That's
something.
right. There's no suing going on.
I think they were just trying to court all the straight people and turn them gay with Brad Pitt.
Yes, exactly right. I know, that is true. You're absolutely right. Third big news in celebrity hot topics, and that is Elton John. Has everybody seen the biopic,
No,
the movie?
no, not yet.
There's- Oh, by the way,
Have
there
you?
can't be a spoiler. We know
There
everything
totally
that
can. I
happens.
don't know how the story plays out.
Wait,
That's what
yeah,
part is.
right.
I know what his life was.
He gets old, fat, and can't walk around on stage
my
anymore.
God.
That's
That
the
could
end
be your
result.
story, too.
Okay,
I wanna know-
Mine in reverse. It was mine in reverse. No,
Your
in
Benjamin
all
Button.
seriousness, Elton John's movie is just burning up the reviews. The reviews already of being up for so many awards. And the big news this week, in conjunction with the success of Elton John, is that the director of this movie says he thinks Madonna's going to be
Oh,
next.
two
That that's
Madonna
what
things in
he
one
does,
day.
right?
Jeez, what a
Yes.
Everybody excited about the Elton John movie?
Yes.
No, again, you haven't seen it? Has everyone
I
else
haven't
seen
seen
it?
it. I haven't
My
seen it
husband
yet.
No
saw
one
it.
has seen it.
My husband saw it today.
going
I
to.
told
Yeah.
him to go
Let's go
see it
together.
by himself. I really wasn't interested in seeing it.
Instagram.
America,
Oh.
gay card. Yours taken, yours taken, yours taken, yours taken. Next
It's
topic.
Hell
only
no,
been out
honey.
for like
In
a week.
celebrity news.
My theme
I went
song
on a
is The
honeymoon
Bitch
to
is Back.
Bali.
The bitch is back.
Oh, is that his song?
That's
Other-
my song.
Other celebrity hot topics.
What's
I
next?
miss Glee so
Oh my God!
I miss Glee.
I wish it had come out 10
Kevin
years
McHale,
earlier.
you remember Kevin? Kevin was
Yes.
the one that was in the wheelchair
Party.
in Glee. He, of course, he sings because he did it in Glee, but he has
Dances.
produced a video, a music video, that is unbelievably sexy, and we're going to show that to you right now.
Yes, please.
Now, they're protecting the music.
Chest.
In this video,
Finally.
it's like, wow, it's kind of working. And so
That
Kevin McHale releases this from Glee. Anybody think Kevin's sexy?
I would totally want to see more of him, but I'd also want him to role play and be in the wheelchair.
But I don't get what the James Dean
Wait,
thing
he
was.
would be sexy because he's in the wheelchair?
No, that would just be a new thing I haven't done before. I've done a guy that didn't have to below their knees, and that was fun. He didn't have to go down to go down. He just didn't have it. Like, he didn't have the shins. So that was fun. But I've never been with
Okay.
somebody that was in a wheelchair.
I have, but I do think that.
What was that like?
You've
Oh,
done
sorry.
somebody in a wheelchair?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Did they need the wheelchair?
Yeah, Marcy's ex-boyfriend was in a wheelchair.
No, wait.
He needed
Let's
the
take this
wheelchair.
one step at a time. Did he get into the wheelchair just because it was fun, or he needed the wheelchair?
He needed the wheelchair.
Wow.
Send
He
him
was
my
so
way.
incredibly hot.
Oh my God, definitely send
was
him my
it a good
way.
experience?
It was. It was a good
Really?
experience. My only experience, but it was a
Yeah.
good experience. But back to Kevin.
Tried to
I do
deflect
think
that
Kevin
one,
is
huh?
hot. I just found with this video, I kind of thought that in watching it, that him and the other guy didn't really have a lot of good chemistry.
Yeah,
It just looked
I
like they
agree.
were uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
did.
Like they
Well,
didn't really like
when you
each
hear
other.
him singing the music in it, you'll understand why, because the entire thing is uncomfortable. Kevin Hale, it was interesting.
Ditto.
And yeah, exactly.
And send
All
me
right.
that
Let's-
guy in the wheelchair's number. I'm going up to Orlando. Let me know. I'll search him out. I'll find him.
It was a trick from the 90s. I can't find
From
it.
the 90s.
He
That's
served
All right.
shots
Last,
at Alabama.
last thing in the news. Boy, was this big news. I thought this was really beautiful. I'm not a super big fan of the product or this program, but Andy Cohen has a
Hi,
surrogate.
Andy.
And guess what? This Sunday is Father's Day, and Andy is going to be a father. There's the picture
first time.
for the first time of the surrogate and his new baby. And Andy Cohen is a father. And of course, in the most beautiful way to announce his new baby, he does it live on his show. Live. Here it is. And he shows a picture with it. Happy Father's Day, Andy Cohen.
Yeah.
And anybody have any comment, or shall we just move on?
I
No
don't
big
care
deal?
about celebrities' babies. I mean, it's cool for them, but
Okay.
you know.
All right. Those are our celebrity hot topics this week. Now we move into our headlines. Lots of big headlines this week. Okay. First off, if you, of course, 2 weeks from now is World Pride in New York City, the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Riots, and the 50th anniversary of Stonewall. And the New York Police Commissioner made big news this week in terms of what he said in New York to the gay community. Watch his announcement. Watch this.
I think it would be irresponsible of me as we go through World Pride Month not to speak of the events at the Stonewall Inn in June of 1969. Well, I'm certainly not going to stand up here and pretend to be an expert on what happened at Stonewall. I do know what happened should not have happened. The actions taken by the NYPD were wrong, plain and simple. The actions and the laws were discriminatory and oppressive, and for that, I apologize. To the LGBTQ community, that this would never happen in NYPD 2019.
As you can see, big news from New York City. When I saw it the morning that he did this announcement, the next morning, in the afternoon that he did the announcement, I thought it was absolutely perfect. Yeah. It's exactly what the New York City Police Department should do to celebrate Stonewall. Any quick thoughts?
Yes. I think more importantly than the apology is appreciated, but more important than the apology is how does that apology translate into changed behavior? They've come a long way, but there's still miles to go. And when we have transgenders that are mistreated and still oppressed by the police department, that's something that needs to be addressed. So kudos for him, and I appreciate the fact that he made that apology. But once again, how does that apology translate into changed behavior?
I think that's an awesome point. Next in our headlines and news this week, of course, we have to talk about the most talked about subject in the world, and that's Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is celebrating the LGBT community.
Kind of.
But kind of, right. We talk about the inconsistency of his support in LGBT issues. again. So first, we talk about his celebration of LGBTQ rights. This week, he's done a tweet, and we show you the tweet here in terms of his support of LGBT rights. You see that on the left-hand side of the screen of his support of the LGBT community. On the right-hand side of the screen, we give you an example of some of the inconsistencies in terms of what he says about trans rights, for example, relating to the military. So it's kind of a half step. One step forward, one step back, perhaps two steps forward, one step back, depending on your perspective. Any thoughts about the news this week of Donald Trump supporting Stonewall and Gay Pride Month?
I think it's important to note that he has done nothing for the last 2 years, and people complained and criticized him for not saying anything. And I was in a number of conversations about it, and I said, you know what, if he does, all he's going to get is criticism and attacked for whatever he says. So I was amazed and greatly appreciated the fact that he came out and acknowledged it and said something. What I was disappointed in was immediately after that, instead of going, this is great, the president has come out and said this, it's immediately everybody's jumping on and attacking. The same thing was really true of the New York City Police Department as well. When is somebody's positive statement or acknowledgement enough for us to celebrate, as opposed to coming back and trying to beat somebody else down again?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
I can answer that. When their actions match their words. And consistently, Trump's actions have shown that he does not support the LGBT community, so his words mean little. Now, I will say this. If he was consistent about his support for the LGBT community, not only in his rhetoric, but in his actions, I couldn't fault him. Example, I was not happy about our governor and the fact that he won. But you want to know something? I have to give it to him. Since he has been elected, our Florida governor has really done everything pretty much right.
Yeah.
I can't fault the man.
Yeah.
His actions and his words have been consistent, and he's really done right by Florida. So I'm not going to attack somebody where there's no attack needed. Donald Trump deserves the rebuke and the side-eye that he gets from the LGBT community because his actions do not match his words.
Yeah, okay.
And just one more thing to add. You know, over the past few weeks, we've been talking about how even within our own LGBT community, we're questioning whether or not there's a prejudice or a judgment towards the transgendered community within our community. When we have that transgendered, I'll just say, prejudice of some sort, then we give the opportunity to anyone, for that matter, in the hetero community to then also have that same and create that distinction as if the transgendered community is not a part of the LGBT community. Right. And that's, it's the same thing, and I wasn't here to have the conversation about abortion, but quickly, just to say this, the moment we are able to start giving the rights to govern a woman's body, trust that they will have the right then and the precedent to then come and govern your body. So that's where these conversations get very deep. We think that we're all disconnected, but we're not. We're all connected, and especially in this moment, the transgendered community is a part of our community. Period. And end of story. And when the administration has, the president says one thing and the vice president is out campaigning and doing something else, then we hear it very loud and clearly that the actions are not, they're not lining up. And so, it's like a smoke and mirror kind of game that we're playing. I'm not down with it right now.
Yeah, I understand. I apologize. I have to move on.
Yep.
Other headlines that we're going to talk about. Next, this week, was the Tony Awards. And the Tony...
The Tonys happened. Yay! No one else is excited, but I am.
Okay. All right. The annual
It was a gay
awards
table.
on Broadway.
Yes.
It is a gay table. Took place at the Tony Awards. What was really interesting is the amount of comments that took place from recipients about gay issues, Stonewall, trans rights, gender issues, various different things. Anna, the Devil Wears Prada. From Vogue magazine really gayed up the Tony Awards and celebrated the Stonewall celebration on the red carpet by creating a gigantic rainbow wall. And we show you that in some of the pictures there. And big news this week, first time ever that overtly, of course the Tonys are uber gay, so overtly celebrated the gay community and
50th year of
Stonewall.
Woo.
Other news this week in our headlines.
Before we move on, if I had a chip, I'd go through it.
Fortunately, we don't.
We don't. So my background is heavily in the artistic scene, especially New York theater. And I love the Tonys. I love watching it. It was difficult for me to watch it this year because I was seeing old teachers who are now winning directing and other awards for Hadestown, which swept the entirety of the awards. I had two friends that were up there, Rachel Brosnahan and Ali Stroker, who was the first ever person in a wheelchair that needed the wheelchair back to a
that was a
wheelchair.
big moment.
It was a big moment. She was the first, and she won a Tony, and she's incredible.
Yeah.
It was just, there was a lot of things going on, and it hurt me because I used to be so a part of that community, and I don't know what decisions I've made in the last 8 years that have distanced me from it, but I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes, whether that was, drinking and drug use or just not believing in myself because I'm rebuilding myself up today. And it's just, it was painful to watch that. I had so much love and support for them. I was messaging them afterward, but you can destroy so many things in 8 years, and that was what I was feeling. I was feeling that sense of being let down and like I'm not where I want to be. So for Pride this month, it's about finding pride in myself and where I'm at.
Excellent observation, and love to hear that. Seriously, I do.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. Other big headlines in the news. I don't know if you've turned on any television, or you have used the internet, or you've watched, or you've read in a magazine. Basically, every corporation and brand in America has turned gay. Have you noticed? We show you here. Look at the companies that are pouring into the celebration of Stonewall and the gay community. Kayak, the most popular travel aggregate website in the world, went gay this week. Grammarly, an application to help you spell correctly, went gay this week. And you see all kinds of examples to this. If we can come back to that slide, please, for gay. I thought, and I didn't realize this until today, at Disneyland and the Magic Kingdom in Orlando, Mickey and Minnie are wearing rainbow clothing in their main parade down Main Street. It is a complete embracement of the gay community, and we're seeing it in dozens and dozens and dozens of brands. It's big news.
I encourage anyone that's watching this to just go to a mall, and you'll see maybe 1 and 2 if you live in even slightly liberal of a town. So many brands are participating in Pride from this year. Maybe you've even learned to like those companies in part because they long-term have had some sort of support for you. I know that I was browsing a lot of different websites in the past couple of weeks, and just to see that they had rainbow flags or that they were supportive of the rainbow community made me realize, oh, maybe that's why I actually like these businesses, because inadvertently they've been a place of support and safety for me my entire life.
Our final big headline of the week is Africa. That's kind of strange. Something big happened yesterday. Something big happened yesterday in Africa, in Botswana. Watch this. Well, this is really big news. A lot of people do not realize the most difficult place on the planet to be gay is the continent of Africa.
It's not right next to you?
It is not. Funny,
Yeah.
funny. I'm sitting next to you too, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's not Asia. It's not Muslim. It's Africa. And this is big news because many people think that what happened yesterday in Botswana is going to be kind of like a domino effect of many other countries in the continent. Any thoughts about what has happened here? By the way, many of our viewers may think that this is not a big deal, but moving from criminalization of homosexuality in Botswana to decriminalization, the fine now is if Napoleon and Joe have sex,
Yeah.
Oh.
and they're caught in Botswana,
Weird.
now the fine is $3.
Rumor has
equivalent.
it.
That's the decriminalization law. So, and for
Okay.
all intents and purposes, it's not really against the law anymore. It's decriminalized. It's an interim step.
So-
the
Bring your
cost
dollar
is,
bills?
Yes.
Is that what you're
Bring your
saying?
dollar bills.
I'll just
Exactly.
call back Barlagine and I'll understand that metaphor much more
Yes,
clearly.
okay, all right. Anyway, big news this week in Botswana.
That's amazing.
Of what's happening in Africa.
Congratulations.
We've come out of our headlines and we want to talk about this week. This week in South Florida, in the gayest place on planet Earth, is Stonewall Pride. And we want to let you know, as we show you a slide here, watch our special show this Saturday at 3 p.m. We're going to do it live. We're going to do a special live edition of It's Happening Out in the Gayest Place in Planet Earth. We're going to be broadcasting on the famous Wilton Drive, main stage at Stonewall Pride, and we're going to do a special show, and then immediately following the show, continuing live, we're going to broadcast the parade. And you're going to see all of the parade entrance in Stonewall Pride. We're going to be broadcasting right next to the Stonewall National Museum, which is here in South Florida, in our connection with Stonewall and all of the major museum iconic features of Stonewall. First off, let us show you this video about Stonewall Pride. Well, we're really excited to be a participant and the digital television show sponsor of Stonewall Pride, and it's going to be a lot of fun. This Friday night, kind of as a kickoff, our night out, I'm really looking forward to because I love Todrick Hall. I really do. I'm just infatuated with Todrick Hall. Out of Oz, that video with RuPaul is one of my favorite music videos that I've seen in the last number of years. And he's here Friday night to help us kick off this Stonewall Pride situation. And look at this promotion about our night out. Watch this.
All right. Our Night Out is the official launch of Friday night's Pride event. It goes right into Stonewall events the rest of the week, and you guys should all check it out because it brings artists together from across the nation and very local communities to emphasize arts. And it's going to be a blast. If you're an artist of any kind, you'll love it.
I can't wait. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there with you. I can't wait for Todrick Hall. And remember, America, if you're in Florida, certainly if you're in South Florida, and you can come down to South Florida, this is a great weekend to do it. Amazing parade, our show live, and Friday night the kickoff with Todrick Hall and all of those amazing entertainers at one of the best nightclubs in Florida for sure, maybe in the entire country, the Manor, right in the heart of Wilton Drive, the gayest place in planet Earth. Y'all come, you're going to have a great time. That moves out of what's happening at Stonewall Pride. I want to play a game. I'm kind of antsy.
I always wanna play a
So let's
game.
play a game. Let's play a game called This or That. Stop looking at my page.
I
Stop looking at
wasn't.
my page. This is totally secret. They don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
As you know, America, come right along with us. Why are you looking at my crotch?
That's where you think your crotch is.
It could be.
Are your boobs
dude.
down to here and your crotch is up to here?
Funny.
I didn't realize
All
you were
right,
there in our
we're going to play
lives.
this game called This or That. I'm going to pose an observation, and our panelists here get to choose this or that. They have to choose those two. Everybody know the rules?
Got
Play
it.
along with us at home. It's a lot of fun. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Ready.
And people
I hear
on my
no
feed, tell me
energy
what
here.
you
Are
think.
y'all ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go.
This or that.
Very good. This or that. I am. That's the shortest question I have ever asked on this. or
Pretty
that.
and pink.
Powerful.
Yes, you're very pretty and pink.
Powerful 2 words.
All right.
Oh.
I am this. Always the first to say I love you, or that. I hold out saying those 3 little words until I hear them first. This or that. I always say it.
It's this for me.
You
I
always say it first?
Yes.
Quickly.
Quickly,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. All right.
In this stage in my life, I'm more of the that. I have been feeling a little bit broken, and I'm more reserved about when I say it. But how I used to be and how I aim to be in the future, I want to be that romantic self I used to be. I want to have that passion and love in life and for things. And then you're there, so there's also that. But I really want to find passion again. So I'm gonna say I'm moving into this.
While Power and Josie are doing it, could you write on a napkin for me, please, with your pen that you have no passion and sign your name to it and
Sure.
date it for me?
Ow.
This or that?
I'm going to say this. I have a lot of love to give, and I spread it around like...
Excuse me?
Like glitter.
Let's talk about Bali for a moment.
Yeah. No, let's not.
All right, this. And
Definitely
Power?
this. The people in my life that I love, I don't need to hear it from them first. I know that life is short.
Yeah.
It's not promised.
All right,
And
say
so
it to me then.
I said the people in my life that I love.
I love you.
Did you get
I love you, Al.
There you go. You heard it,
It's
America.
a love
I love you, Joe.
Wait. I'm going to pull a page out of the Power Infinity book. Jared Curry. Next week, you make sure. Right. There
Run
we
it
go.
back.
Question number. I'll come back to that. Question number 2. This or that. You're never going to see this, America.
They might have.
Question number 2. This or that. I am gay.
this.
And this. I was born this way. That. It took me a while to figure it out. This or that. I am gay.
This.
This?
This. I was born this way.
You knew it right away.
I knew it very early. When I was 2 years old and I had neighborhood friends I would role play with, they would always wonder why I wanted us to switch clothing or
playing
why
too.
I wanted to be pinned down.
Everybody at the table, dude, is going, that makes... I'm watching Power's face. I wish Aaron was sitting right here because Aaron constantly goes, it was just the 90s. You constantly try to pretend you don't remember the past, and now you're going to tell us a story when you were 2 years old?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, dude.
So stop stopping at me. Stop
Unbelievable.
stopping at me. Yeah, I used to role play with my friends, Power Rangers, and we would pin each other down, and we'd also like take
At
each other.
2.
It started at 2. It went on until 7. And at 7 is when we started changing pants.
It's going-
No, it's not Napoleon. I just think the question is kind of ridiculous. Because it's really, this time, it really is this and that. I was born this way, but it did take me a little while to figure it out.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not what the intent of the question is. The question was, did you get out there right away, or did it take a long time to do it, or some time to do it?
It took some time.
All right. So it's a that for you.
Yeah.
This or that?
Yeah, I'm a this. I mean, it would have been a lot easier if it was a that, but it was a this, So what am I going to do?
All right. And Joe?
Oh, it was definitely a that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like-
We know that about you.
You're just coming into it
We
now.
all know
Growing-
that.
for me, growing up black, West Indian.
Wait, you're black?
I am. Newsflash. Black, West Indian, and no, it doesn't rub uncle. Black, West Indian, and Seventh-day Adventist. 3 challenges in my life that made it very, very difficult for me to discover myself.
Yeah. And hair is not going to be a 4th challenge or something?
You had
or-
hair at some point,
No,
I'm
I
sure.
mean, of course, I had a Jerry curl until
Yeah.
Al's just questioning because we can see that he's on the way out of hair. So.
Yes, absolutely. I brace it. All right, question number 3, this or that. When it comes to my phone, this, I would have no problem handing my phone unlocked to my partner or a person I'm dating, or that. Never, 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 under any circumstances, I need my total privacy. This or that. No problem.
This?
No problem?
No problem.
Really?
This, I don't care, and my wife has full access to everything that is mine. I do like my privacy. She gives me that space, but this, she has access to it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Joe?
At this point in my life, I would say this, because any relationship that I go into,
I'm so disappointed because I'm getting ready to agree with Napoleon Place.
I'm a that. I mean, I don't like
there it is.
I have important stuff on my phone. I might have everyone on cast naked already on my phone. If you want to see everyone else, it might already exist here. Or just pay me enough if you're out there and you're curious. But seriously, you're horrified. Al is horrified of his own naked body.
No. I'm horrified that you're going to try to charge money for whatever it is that you do.
Enough of this. No more diminishing. But I honestly would be a little bit concerned about anyone getting access to my phone. I'm a very private person. I thought I was an open book.
No, Napoleon, that's not
Not
it.
with
It's
everyone.
the hundreds of naked pictures, the dick pics that you
I'm a
have collected
connoisseur. I'm
from
a connoisseur
hundreds
of
of
nudity.
hundreds of
I'm
different
a connoisseur
guys.
of nudity.
Really?
I don't do anything that others that send them to me wouldn't want me to do.
why would that embarrass you to share that with your significant other? I mean, there's nothing about sharing dick pics and naked pics with
Maybe
somebody
we get
else.
there at some point. I don't know. I'm not with a
Okay.
significant
All
other.
right. All right.
Al keeps trying to make
He's
me.
single.
But
Oh,
He's
please.
single.
Right, and still mingling.
we're the single ones at this table. They're all
Okay,
betrothed.
all right. So that's another
hitched.
game of this or that. We play it frequently. We hope you enjoy it. Let's move on to something that's really big, the E3 going
Oh, and I'm out of water.
on the West Coast. And we want to present something that Napoleon Plays has prepared called Talk Nerdy to Me.
You got to say it like it's arousing. Like,
Nerdy.
try to be seductive. Pretend you're talking to your boyfriend.
Dude, talk nerdy to me. All right, so
All
you
right.
can see this in terms of gaming. And Napoleon, I'm going to turn it over to you. You
All
walk
right.
us through what's going on at E3.
Sure thing. So yes, the segment's name is Talk Nerdy to Me. It's a play off of Talk Dirty to Me. It's anything in the nerd realm. And today we've decided to cover the big grouping of gaming and gamers. Gaming, video gaming, is actually the largest and fastest growing entertainment medium in the world. And it is reaching an exponential level of monetary gains that other fields of entertainment just have not even approached. This weekend and this past couple of days has been E3, which is the Electronic Entertainment Expo. It is the Super Bowl and Christmas of gaming all at once. So you really get to have everything happen all at once. Or if you're Jewish, Hanukkah, it was more like that for me because it's 8 days long. And so gaming, this is the pinnacle of it. But why is gaming important in the LGBTQ community? Well, firstly, like any outcast organization or any outcast group, it can feel like a sense of return to normalcy. You can learn to socialize through gaming. You can not be as much of an outcast. And the real question for me is, what do I learn from gaming as a gay man? It's one, like I said, a way that I learned to socialize with other people. I learned how to talk to my straight friends. I learned that my sexuality or inclinations that I had weren't the most awful thing, that we could just sit down, play a Mario game, and we could focus on that, and we could focus on the level of testosterone and competition, but it didn't have to be about...
Napoleon, I'm curious, if you go to E3, are there parties? Are there events?
Oh, yeah. There's a big after party starting last year. It was by Sony. Sony had its first ever after party at E3 in 2018. It was, as you can see some of the photos, it was hosted by Bitch Puddin', a prominent drag queen. I think she was on Dragula.
Bitch Pudding?
Yeah. Even Al Drag Superstar knows. Bitch Puddin' was there. They have all sorts of fun.
That was a surprise.
And it was the first time that they threw an LGBTQ after party. But even more than that, there was a big event. We're about to play a video, and this video showcases a time that audience were shocked to see a little character they grew up with from a child become this woman. So, Jared, if we could take a look at that video.
I'm just a girl, not a threat. Oh, Ellie. I think they should be terrified of you.
Yeah, no, they were very sexy.
Yeah,
I'm glad
that
that I
was
got you with
kinda
that.
sexy.
That was important because last year, Ellie was a character that people grew up with, and she ended up being a gay character. So many people, when they saw that game revealed last year, booed or thought that it was this wrong thing. Just
At the
because
convention, they
at
booed.
the convention, they were booing because
Oh.
they didn't want. I mean, some people were cheering, sure, but there were straight people and other non-supporters that were booing because they thought, how could a character I grew up with be gay? You know, she's not just a normal person. You're making this game inaccessible to me now. And the point is that gaming is now more accessible to the LGBTQ community.
Now, speaking of accessible, we're looking at a slide here about
I wanna
The
be-
best
gay
orgy in the row?
gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us a little about that.
This is just something that I found that was a lot of fun. I always look for an orgy of people that could make me feel like I could play Strip Mario. Like I answered the other week,
Yeah.
I really play video games naked, and so I would love to have a couple hot friends if you're watching. Just come over, play. We can play Mario Party. We can play
Get
any game of your
naked.
choice. I'd love
that,
to.
That guy's my friend, Griff,
That guy's your friend?
the one in the red Mario hat.
Oh my God! Set
From
him
from
up.
Atlanta.
Hook him up with me.
Napoleon, I'm curious, with gay being an integral part of the gaming expansion in America, tell us about some of the big games. I think you have something prepared.
Yeah,
in
I have
terms of
something
a video.
prepared for some of the big games that either just came out or that are coming out in the next little bit.
Let's
So
look at that.
Let's take a look at some montage of some of the big games that are going to be coming out.
Fun.
So we start off with Bayonetta 3, and even as a gay man, I find Bayonetta very sexy. I don't know how you feel, Josie, but
Hey,
it's a
man.
woman. She's a witch. She uses her hair. She has 4 guns all around her whole body. We're moving quickly, though, because we're into Assassin's Creed now. Our technical director actually loves Assassin's Creed and dressed up as him one year for Halloween. Very sexy guy, Ezio. And now we're into Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Who does not have a superhero roleplay fetish? If not you, then I don't know, because the nerd community is often involved in the gay community, and I will be any superhero if I were a better cosplayer. I almost
Doctor
came in cosplay
Strange.
today. Mortal Kombat is a game with lots and lots
that
of
game.
nudity, almost nudity.
Ooh,
You can
he's
see
hot.
all these intense muscles. And The Witcher. This isn't relevant so much right now. It was released for Nintendo, but the reason this is important is because there's going to be a Netflix series that comes out, and it's going to have.
Oh,
you
don't
get
tell
it.
me.
It's
Don't
going to
tell
be
me.
Henry Cavill.
Oh my God.
Henry Cavill is going to be playing
Oh,
The Witcher, and he's gotten
America.
twice as big as when he played.
We're going to hear how they
Superman.
locked eyes with each
Oh
other.
my
and
God.
they fell in love with
We
each
did,
other.
and oh my God,
And Henry Cavill fell in
cast
love with
me.
Napoleon.
Cast me. I'll play the woman. I'll get my friends to dress me up. I'll lose the weight that I need to be a nice dainty. I don't care
And
whatever
Henry
it means for me to
Cavill
kiss
finally
you.
had a
I'll
gay
happily
He
do it.
dissed,
experimental
he dissed Henry
experience.
Cavill last week, so I don't think Henry Cavill is.
I
gonna
will
be too-
never doubt you again, Henry Cavill. But no,
to see
no,
you.
seriously, to pull it back a minute, gaming really is important to the LGBTQ community because it's a resource for people that feel ostracized or like they're put out. It was a way that I knew how to accept myself because I could meet little achievements and just feel better about myself.
Napoleon, we
There's-
have a note here about where you access a lot of your gaming information. We have
Yeah.
a little lower third slide here.
Yeah.
Tell us quickly about that.
We do. It's actually, looking for that note, it is Queerly Represent Me is the name of this organization. It is amazing if you love or you have somebody that loves or needs to understand more of their own identity. It's a really good source for anyone who loves gaming to learn more about themselves and their sexuality. It should be below me right now. It's called Queerly Represent Me, and it's an amazing resource for anyone who identifies as LGBTQIA and wants to be or is a gamer. So we hope we can help you out, or contact me because gaming saved my life. So
Excellent. I've learned a lot about E3. I always make jokes about not even understanding the language he did, but I've read a lot this week, and it shocked me, to be honest with you, that the gaming business community is larger than movies and television combined.
Yeah,
it's
the
shocking
graphics are
to me.
ridiculous.
Also a small fact in terms of the gay community is that in the software industry, which has been my bailiwick for 40 years, 20 to 25% of the software engineers are gay.
Oh,
and
interesting.
a lot of the multiplayer games came from several groups of gay software engineers out of the New York, New Jersey area.
Interesting. Thank you. Well, Napoleon.
Well, let me just ask you one question really quick. If I don't know if you're going to highlight this, but maybe you can do this in your Instagram or offline but gaming systems. If someone wants to start thinking about gaming, I mean, there's so many different gaming systems out there.
You should consider that. You should consider that. I apologize. I've got to push this on. But this is your first implementation of Talk Nerdy to me, and it's been very interesting to us.
And hopefully you guys should share this because people here didn't understand what gaming meant to the rest of the LGBTQ community. And I know that there's such a number of us gay gamers that if you help me share this video, we can reach even more people to know why it's important for who we are. We're a subculture, but we are a huge part of LGBT.
In all seriousness, terrific. And thank you, Napoleon, for bringing it to It's Happening Out. We want to tell you about something that we've done this week. Everybody know what's Sunday?
Father's Day.
Sunday is Father's Day.
Really?
We want to show you a little thing that we did on Father's Day. Look at this little tease of this special that we've recorded and is available to you now at It's Happening Out for Gay Father's Day. Watch this. Hello, America. It's Al at It's Happening Out, America's most popular live gay talk show. Frank, I'm curious, being a gay son of Cuban parents. Aaron, I want to come to you. You are a very unusual situation.
You know, it's rough. I take on, y'all gonna make me cry through this whole thing.
But he just stopped talking to me when I came out after I got divorced from my ex-wife. That was my second coming out, so to speak, because my ex-wife knew I was gay. I was out to my friends, just not my family.
And then he called me to tell me because he said he was more nervous about telling me than he was his mother.
And why is that? As we move to our Stonewall celebration of 50th anniversary, you don't have to be famous. You don't have to be a marcher. You just have to continue to propel the gay story along. And it can be as simple or as complicated as being a father. Thank you, America. I think you should watch America. It's very interesting. Gay father-sons, whether you're straight father, gay son, straight son. It's a very complicated situation, and it was really a beautiful special representing all kinds of things. Any thoughts about gay and Father's Day?
Well, you know, Mother's Day in the gay community is much more celebrated than Father's Day. And I am one of the gays that celebrate Mother's Day exuberantly, but not so much Father's Day when my father was alive. But I'm just here to say that if you do have a father out there and you are like me and are not that close to your father or were not that close to your father, take the time to really appreciate him. I learned that lesson the hard way. Me and my father were not close, so much so that my father died in January of 2013, and I didn't find out until June.
Oh, dear.
And so now...
How did you feel when you found out 6 months later? What was your first reaction to that?
I just absolutely horrible. A lot of guilt. And the only way I even found out was because I hired a private detective to track down my father because I hadn't heard from him for so long. And finally, when he got back to me, he said, "I'm sorry to tell you that your father had passed away." So now Father's Day takes on a whole new meaning to me because I do have a lot of guilt. And the lesson that I learned was that you have to take the time now while you have the time to do and say the things that you need to say, and especially to your father.
Yeah.
Very much.
Any other thoughts? Father's Day?
I just feel very, very blessed that all my kids are accepting of me. And just one funny item is my son decided to make a quick visit to Fort Lauderdale for Father's Day. So he was planning to come down this weekend. And I said, that's fine, son. I just need to let you know it's Pride, and I've got a show on Saturday from 2 to 6, but it's good. He goes, so, Dad, is the next weekend available?
Right, exactly.
I'll just quickly add in, Dad, wherever you are, I love you. Thank you for being an amazing father, a hippie, the opposite of toxic masculinity. I appreciate everything that you gave me. I can't let a Father's Day go by without thinking of you.
You don't know where your father is?
He died.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
I
didn't
always,
understand the reference.
For me, it's a bit of honoring because I loved him and he was incredible to me.
Okay.
So I love you, Dad.
All right. Well, to everyone in America, happy Father's Day. And
Yes.
if you're a gay father, you're a gay son. It's a very complicated and difficult situation. We hope you watch our special.
It's incredible.
And at the end of it, we wish you happy Father's Day. We want to move on to our celebration of Stonewall. 3 weeks remaining. And we have 3 big announcements in our celebration of Stonewall. Each week, we celebrate a gay icon. And next week, you want to be sure and tune in. And then our final episode before the Stonewall celebration, 50th anniversary in New York at World Pride, is 2 weeks away. All 3 of our celebrants have been selected. You're going to see our 3rd final celebrant tonight. And tonight is unique because it's not a person. This is the first time that we have done this since we started It's Happening Out. We celebrate a television show. Look at our gay icon of the week in our celebration to Stonewall. Watch this.
It was a phenomenon that changed television forever.
Eyebrow plucker, leg waxer, parasite, overbite, lady, tramp, underdeveloped.
Will and Grace, they're besties. They share an apartment. He's gay, she's straight, both unlucky in love. Jack is also gay, lives across the hall, and is best friends of Karen, who's rich, racist, and a big fan of Trump.
You will never see 2 gay men kissing on network television.
It's a gay network, for God's sake. The symbol is a peacock.
Gay sex is so hot.
When we did the show, we really focused on LGB. When we stopped there at B, I know I want to continue through the alphabet. T, Q, I, and, sexual identity and gender identity, that's what is being discussed right now in our culture.
The show sort of became de rigueur. I got married to Tay Diggs. I made out with Tay Diggs at 9 o'clock on a Thursday night in 2004 or whatever it was, and nobody batted an eye.
The truth of the matter is that we have tons of work to do still. I mean, people still don't quite understand, which is, another great reason Will and Grace is back on the air, because if you don't have the words to explain it to your family, because you can say like Will and Grace, or like Ellen DeGeneres, or who's ever out in a public, like Jess Cagle, like whoever, Andy Cohen, Anderson Cooper. There's so many more examples now to help people and give them tools to communicate to kids and their families that being gay is as normal as being straight.
And everybody forgets that that's what we did, that 13 years ago, a black man and a white man were kissing on a sitcom, and nobody wrote about it. The press was over us by then. So a lot of what we did just kind of got accepted in a way. And so it's insane right now to listen to some of the anti-gay crap that's going on in the States and think, have we all forgotten that only 13 years ago, this was just another day in paradise? There's a lot of people out there that might fall prey to voting that way, but still love Will and Grace. And that's where we can be of service, that we can get into some of those living rooms. The living rooms where maybe they don't think the 2 fellas should get married, but they still love those 2 gay fellas. And that's where we get to go and go, okay, if you love us, if you love Jack, maybe next time you're voting, we don't have to say those words, but we can start to remind them that we're human.
Well, how exciting. Will and Grace, our first non-human person celebrant on our road to Stonewall. Each week as we celebrate our march to our civil rights movement, in 2 weeks, our 50th anniversary of Stonewall, we tell all of our hosts get an opportunity to tell you a little something that's important to them about our celebrant and something that they may have said. We're going to do that again tonight, even though it's Will and Grace, and we'll start with Power.
Okay, well, Will and Grace defied expectations. It launched on NBC as the first program that actually featured a openly gay male character. It kind of desensitized America to homosexuality and paved the way for future shows. So the quote I chose today was Will on Karen's affinity for alcohol. Karen, I am a lawyer, which means unlike you, I actually passed a bar.
Oh, that's amazing. I love Karen Walker.
So Will and Grace is considered the TV series that changed America and really brought homosexuality out of the TV closet. You know, the show earned 83 Emmy nominations and 16 Emmy awards. Karen, of course, said, "Black, white, gay, straight, what's the difference? We all finish ourselves off in the end anyway."
That's great. Napoleon?
We should have had a contest of who can do the best Karen impression. That would have been really fun to watch. I'm discussing the reboot right here, which originally came out after a 10-minute short shot during 2016 in the presidential campaign. That became such a beloved little short that it inspired the actual show to be rebooted. It was entirely organic.
I'm sure Joe just loved that little 10-minute short, too.
And one of the things that makes the reboot so incredible is that they were able to adapt to a changed community. And it was a community that they themselves helped to change in the first place with the original show. My quotation is also Karen, because Karen's the best. I just want somebody who gets me. Somebody who's comfortable in my world and makes me laugh and occasionally brings me flowers. And somebody who likes kittens and the hardcore bondage scene.
That's a great one. And Joe?
It's me.
Will and Grace made the gay stereotype fun and funny and acceptable in the mainstream TV. And one of the quotes from Karen that I love, she says, "Well, well, well, look what the cat cleaned up, showered, exfoliated, powdered, lipstick, Gucci'd, and dragged in."
That's great. Our road to Stonewall and the celebration of our icons is certainly reflected in Will and Grace. I love the video package that we've prepared for you, America on the Show, because I think McCormick's observations were a dead bullseye. In 2004, we had a white man and a black man kiss, and it was like nothing. And we're sitting here 15 years later, and we're dealing with so many issues that we're dealing with, and it's like, have we moved backwards? Interestingly enough, I posted this morning as I was walking to production. Today is the memorial of Pulse. I was walking to the office, and I've posted this. 2 guys in a truck went by me today here in the gayest place on planet Earth and yelled out the window, "Faggot." And that's the first time that's ever happened to me in my life. And I thought I hadn't seen this video package that you just saw, and McCormick calls it out absolutely perfectly. What's going on in 2019?
Well, you actually officially just got your gay card, because every other gay except for you has been called faggot. So welcome.
Yes, exactly.
Hello, girl.
Actually,
it's an elaborate ruse.
The point is, Will and Grace was really necessary. Will and Grace is necessary, and probably Will and Grace will always be necessary, and is the reason why we celebrate it on our road to Stonewall.
Absolutely.
2 more weeks, and our 50th anniversary is here. Woo! So congratulations, Will and Grace. We really, really love you.
And sorry for calling you that.
Okay, right. Napoleon, you didn't hear it because he threw the line away. He said, sorry for calling you that. He was in the truck, apparently, as he drove by.
I like the truck.
It's a funny joke, but you don't have a driver's license, dude, so that's not true.
We've established
All right.
blah, blah, blah.
We move on to our final segment of the show, and of course, this is June 12th, and we remember Pulse. I start with Power. Power, you lean back. He is celebrating. He's not in drag tonight. Many people in America would say he's never in drag, really. No, it's kind of a mediocre joke, but he celebrates Pulse, and we want to celebrate in our remembrance of what happened with Pulse, and we start with our introduction of remembering the 49. And at the time, on June 12, 2016, remember it was the biggest mass shooting in American history. 3 years later, 49, the number doesn't seem so big anymore, which is a whole different conversation. First, in terms of telling the story about Pulse and remembering it in the proper way, let's talk about the big news this week about Pulse. And it's not the actual event itself, but to create a federal memorial. And we've prepared this video package for you. Watch this about what is going on about Pulse.
Today's announcement came with a lot of emotion because this site means so much to so many. The legislation talked about today now could have a big impact on the future of the Pulse Memorial.
525,600 minutes.
Representatives Darren Soto and Stephanie Murphy announcing H.R. 3094. The legislation introduced in the House last week calls to recognize the site of the Pulse terror attack as a national memorial.
This will give this hallowed ground the federal recognition it deserves, especially for those who lost everything.
If passed, the recognition means the memorial could receive both private and public grants, and it would be protected by the federal government. The bill also allows for local control of the memorial's development. Representative Soto says he hopes to have the legislation passed by this point next year. As for the future of this site, Pulse owner Barbara Poma says she hopes to break ground on a permanent memorial here in 2021.
Well, we hope that this happens, and we hope by our 4th anniversary of Pulse on June 12th, 2020, that this has happened, that Pulse becomes a national federal memorial. In our celebration of remembrance of Pulse, I'm going to tell you a personal story. And we led at the top of the show. You see it on the table, Eddie Sotomayor. I'll do the best I can, America. I'm going to tell you about several things that have not been revealed before. And we're going to show you a number of slides, and basically I'm picking up my phone. There are many things in my phone that I have never revealed. I have voice messages from some of the most famous newscasters in America on my phone that I never deleted. My phone is frequently full because I haven't moved them, I haven't touched them, I was kind of frozen. There are many text messages, and I'm going to tell you about some of them and show you a few things that you have never seen before. So, in remembering Pulse, especially Eddie Sotomayor as an example, one of the 49, Eddie was the first name announced, lost at Pulse. We worked together. He had many, many friends. On June 11th, we're going to show you a variety of different kinds of slides. On June 11th, Eddie Sotomayor and his partner, Luis Rojas, were going to Pulse. And they tried very hard to get me to come, Eddie, to come to Pulse. And through the day on Saturday, June 11th, he tried to get me to come, and we had many texts and exchanges. On Sunday night, on June 12th, at 12:25, Eddie sent a text to me, and we're kind of showing that to you now, saying that the top hat is popular. And he was at Pulse with Luis, and he was talking about what a good time he was basically having. At 1:15 a.m. on June 12th, he sent probably the most famous Snapchat in the world related to Pulse. And we want to take a moment to show you that video Snapchat that he shared with me and ultimately the world. Watch this.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next entertainer
see is on the dance floor at Pulse. And the top hat is a video implementation of Luis Rojas. Luis, I know you're watching, and I love you very much. Eddie's partner. Eddie is there over his shoulder. This was at 1:15 a.m. On Sunday, June 12th, the next message that came in from Eddie, in reply from the Snapchat, I indicated to him that I couldn't come in reply to his Snapchat by telling him I was at Sawmill and I was at a big foam party test and I was having a great time there. And I said in the text, I am at the biggest foam party I have ever seen, not a top hat for miles. And I was getting a little re-dig in on Eddie that there are no top hats here, which I was happy about. Eddie replied, still from Pulse, laugh out loud, and then replied another text, allegedly. And then at 1:45 a.m., Eddie texted me and said, look hard. Meaning there's got to be top hats there because he's adored by everybody, and that was the joke he was telling. And then his final message to me that evening was, to me, my people are out. I did not see any of these messages, and that is the last text that Eddie Sotomayor sent from the floor of Pulse. At approximately 5:15 a.m., Luis Rojas called me, but I did not hear the call. Then shortly after that, George Cressman, who was the president of Sawmill, came and knocked on my door and woke me up at Sawmill to tell me something was going on at Pulse. A few minutes later, I spoke to Luis Rojas, who was in Orlando. He had gone to Nima's house, who was the manager of Pulse, and had been there, but had not been able to communicate with Eddie. And Eddie and Luis communicated with each other as Luis and Nima were outside the club loading a car to leave at the end of the closure of the night when the shooting began a little after 2 a.m. And Luis and Eddie communicated with each other, and Eddie, in my opinion, and I will always believe this, saved Luis's life by saying, do not come into Pulse. I'm safe, he told Luis, and he was in hiding. And Luis and Nima went to Nima's house. As this was going on, a friend of mine in Sarasota, Daniel Milks, came to Sawmill to get me because I could not drive and brought me to Orlando. En route that morning on June 12th at 8:06 a.m., I texted Eddie. I did not know what the results or what was going on, and I texted Eddie the following: Eddie, need to call me right now. There was no reply. Approximately 35 minutes later, I text Eddie again. Eddie, we are broken. No matter the way, please call. There was no reply. When I arrived at the Orlando Regional Medical Center, I met Luis and went into the crisis center, and there were tables set up for different people that were believed to be in Pulse, family, people like me, which were friends, etc., and Daniel was with me. We met Luis, arriving approximately 9 a.m. At 11:59 a.m. on June 12th, I texted Luis because he was outside, and I texted Luis and saying, where are you? And he replied to me, hospital, regional, reception sucks. And we came back together, and the reason was at approximately 2:05 p.m. on June 12th, the director of the Orlando Regional Medical Center walked into the crisis center and announced that President Obama had suspended the HIPAA laws and that he could begin to announce news to everyone in the room. At that moment, I don't know what possessed me to do it. I picked up my phone and I started to tape, started to film. As far as I know, this is the only film that exists inside the crisis center as the director of the Orlando Regional Medical Center began to announce names. I have never shown this video before until now. In all of the so many interviews I did, I never even told anyone that this video existed. And I think it's important in terms of telling the story of remembering Pulse that you get to see this moment. Watch this.
Rodney Sumter, Stable. Estuardo Calderon, stable. Felipe Marrero Sanchez, critical. Javier Nava, stable. Adrian Estacio, guarded. Juan Oviedo, stable. Joaquin Rojas, stable. The remaining that I'm going to read, those are all located here that I have read. The remaining patients that I'm going to read, all I know is that they are at Florida Hospital South. I do not know their status.
Well, as you can see in that video, and as I said, I do not believe anyone in the world has ever seen that before except the people that were live in the crisis center at that moment, approximately 12:05 on June 12th. I do not know why I stopped that video, but to the best of my ability of recollection, I realized I was getting ready for the news that I knew was coming. They were talking about those people that were alive. And every time a name would be announced and they would say stable to critical, a table would erupt, and it was family and friends of that person. And it was very real and raw at that moment. I've thought about this so many times. Again, I'll do the best I can. I wish our table would have erupted. I've thought about this so many times. I think the reason I stopped recording is because I knew before he finished that when he finished, the worst news possible for 49 people's family and friends was going to come. He stopped. And it began to translate in Spanish exactly what you saw, which is what you saw there. Moments later, as I just showed you in this tape in the crisis center, Eddie's family and Louis learned the news officially from ORMC that Eddie had been killed. Shortly after that, Eddie was the first name announced in the world as being killed at Pulse. And Eddie very likely was the most public or famous, I don't mean that in a bad way, but probably the most famous name in the world, Cuba and what he had done in travel and what he had done with RuPaul's Drag Race and Michelle Visage, etc. And it was the moment of the first announcement. And when the news announced that Eddie Sotomayor was the first name killed at Pulse, Pulse finally became real for all of us. At approximately 3:51 p.m., I text Louis because the news was breaking about Eddie, and I said, Louis, they just published the victims list, and Eddie's name is first. Are you okay? Louis immediately replied, yes, I'm okay, just okay. It was done. The next days, of course, were horrible, but in those moments, it was done. My friends Richard Millian and Mike Brooks and Daniel Milks, and I specifically called them out, helped, and we were going to stay the night at Richard Millian's home. And as we left Orlando Regional Medical Center, which was only blocks from Pulse, I said I did not want to go directly to your house. I wanted to go to where the gay community was. And of course, we went to the Parliament House in Orlando. And you'll see in a moment in some of the pictures that we had, the Parliament House had already erected a sign about Pulse in their support. And I walked into the dance floor, an empty dance floor at Pulse, and DJ Brianna was up in the booth, and it was eerie because it was completely empty. And Brianna saw me and came out of the booth and came across the dance floor and hugged me, and we both cried. As I turned, Don and Susan were at the other end of the room, who owned Parliament House, And we embraced and we started to cry. And I whispered in Don's ear something I will never forget. If the shooter had really wanted to create a catastrophe, the shooting would have been last night at the Parliament House, because there were so many more people there. It was a surreal moment. And later, Daniel and Richard and Mike's sisters got me back to his house, and I was totally drunk. The next day I did a live video chat with many, many people, including employees that worked with Eddie, and I can't remember days on end after that. It was a double tragedy for Eddie Sotomayor and his family, because Louis was outed as being Eddie's partner. And it was a tragedy, and I give so much respect to Luis Rojas and to people that have to live in the closet and are forced to live there and shouldn't have to live there because of family or church or friends or jobs. Luis Rojas will always be a representation of the absolute best of the gay community. We planned a public funeral for Eddie in Sarasota. As far as I know, it was the largest attended funeral. It was in an arena in Sarasota. And then afterwards, we did a candlelight vigil at St. Pete Pride, and hundreds of thousands of people attended, and more than 10,000 pictures of Eddie were held up during the parade. One of the greatest moments ever of remembering Pulse. As we marched down Central Avenue in St. Petersburg, they had free speech zones. It was required by law, and there would be protesters. And all of us have been to Pride events where they yell and scream the horrible things that they say about the gay community. And as we walked down Central Avenue, hundreds of us in the delegation of the candlelight celebration for Eddie, we would start to hear the crowd starting to chant, "Eddie, Eddie, Eddie." It was not until the middle of the parade that we realized what was happening. Friends, employees, family, supporters of Eddie were hearing "Eddie, Eddie" because the crowd would not allow us to hear the protesters. They shouted over them. That night, June 12th, at 8 o'clock, one of Eddie's very good friends, Michelle Visage from RuPaul's Drag Race, did a beautiful tribute. And I want to show you. I do not believe anyone has ever seen this either. Michelle had this filmed from backstage of the show she had to do in the RuPaul National Tour in Minneapolis at 8 p.m., June 12th. Watch this.
Show, I welcome everybody. Introduce myself. My name is Michelle Visage, and these are my tits. And it's usually the point of the show where I go through a bunch of things about our community and how important RuPaul's Drag Race is. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who has made Season 8 and all of RuPaul's Drag Race. Season 8 is the highest rated season yet of RuPaul's Drag Race. It'll always be an LGBT show first and foremost. But the fact, yes, but I am a heterosexual cisgender ally, and for me, I see the importance because I was a kid who had nowhere to go, who was bullied and didn't fit in, and this show, for young girls like me who are that, or look at me and want to be a female drag queen, or understand and relate to some of these queens, it's a safe place for them. They have some place that they can go. Feel weird when they feel like they belong. The same thing for the trans kids and the gender fluid kids and the gender queer children and people who just don't really know who they are in their skin. That's why our show is so important for mainstream and for our community, and thank you so much for making it what it is. I want to put that on hold tonight in lieu of what happened today in Orlando, and I'm going to try to get through it without sobbing because I lost somebody very very dear to me, and I just want to say that nobody can keep us down, no matter what. And the more we're forced in this little box, the more we rise up together. Nobody has ever been able to silence our community, and drag queens in particular. They have always been the marginal section of the gay community, the outcasts, and the ones that nobody talks about, nobody wants to have anything to do with. And you know what? Tonight is also the Tonys, so in the words of Hamilton, we will all rise up together, we will unite, and I'm telling you, in the wake of this tragedy, we are going to become stronger, and we're going to fight harder, because you see, we are nowhere near done. So, for me tonight, for all the victims out there, for everybody in particular, so when you see us all have these, that's what it meant to us tonight. And it means everything that we could be here with you tonight. And I have to ask you all, your love is what's going to keep us going tonight. So, donate whatever you can, give whatever you can emotionally. And I am going to sing my heart out tonight and dedicate this show to my friend Eddie Sotomayor. I love you so much. Thank you.
It's a beautiful moment, and that video, to me, captures everything that we should remember tonight about Pulse. Michelle Visage, in a very impromptu way, challenges all of us. I think it is a beautiful, beautiful memorial statement to say we are all gay, and a straight woman can be gay. I think it is a beautiful challenge to say we must rise up, and we must stand up against this. And that's what June 12, 2016 is. Our final thing that we want to show you is Pulse is it is not the bar. It is not the 49. It is not the city of Orlando. It is all of us. And what is so important about it is the individual stories that are created that we must remember and we must celebrate. And the one that we celebrate tonight is that of Eddie Sotomayor and the people around him that miss him, that laughed with him, and think he represented the best of what we are, whether you're gay or straight or Latin or black or Jewish or Catholic or lesbian or straight or a gay man. And that's our story. We want to, I'm going to ask the host if they would like to add something to this, and as I do that, we're going to show you a few pictures about Pulse and Eddie Sotomayor. Anybody like to say anything as we do this?
Yeah, I grew up in a very gay supportive community. I was down here in Florida when I heard the news of what was going on at Pulse, and it was easily the first time in my entire life that I was concerned, that I had fear for being a gay man. I never experienced that in any other country growing up at all. I had actual fear of being gay and what people might do to me for that. It's been on my mind since, and Pulse did that. I can't believe that more people don't talk about it more regularly. It's changed who I am, and I wasn't even involved with people that knew anyone.
Anything else anybody wants to add?
Well, tonight as we film this, Orlando, actually at Pulse, had their 3-year Pulse Remembrance. And I would like to give a shout out to Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, and all the organizers that put the memorial on at Pulse tonight in memory of the 49, in support of the survivors, in honor of the first responders, and with sympathy to the families and with gratitude to the community. Thank you, guys.
Do you know what time that goes until for any of our viewers?
It's done now.
It's done now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It started
Anything
at
else?
7.
For me, maybe I feel like I might be coming from a different space. But for me, I know that this is a sad moment, and for not only you, Al, but for a lot of folks out there who lost their family and their friends, their lovers. we have to like really be able to take this moment as a community and celebrate their lives, because we remember like the dance floor has been our church, right? For so many of us, the dance floor is our church. It's where we found ourselves, where we find ourselves, where we grow. And to think that maybe we're unsafe on a dance floor, we get to celebrate these people's lives and know that hopefully because of their loss, that things are going to get done and that we're going to create change in this world, and that as a community, we're going to be safe together. And I hope that it inspires our community to be strong, to stand up, to be courageous. And Michelle Visage says, we're all gay. I've always thought that anyways. We're all gay and we're all in this together. And when they come at one of us, they come at all of us. So, yeah.
Well stated.
To close our remembrance of Pulse, I want to make an observation that I thought about in 2016. I grieved for a long, long, long time. So many people said, Al, you've done enough, you've done enough, you've done enough. And I, at the outside, coming out of my grieving process, I realized, no, everybody grieves in their own personal way. Don't tell somebody how to grieve, because you just don't understand the complexities. I show you some of the things that made this so personal to me. But an observation that I remember thinking a lot of in June of 2016, that I think tonight on June 12th, 2019, the timing was horrible. It probably was designed to stick a heart, or stick a dagger in gay America's heart, or the world's gay heart. But because this is Pride Month and the celebration of Stonewall, I think that tonight more than ever, we celebrate the 3rd anniversary of Pulse, and we remember. I remember Eddie Sotomayor, and I celebrate all of the people that surround my story for Pulse. And all of us have different stories. Everyone in America tonight, the reason why this is so motivationally and emotional for us is because we all have different stories of where we were, who we knew related to who we knew. Mm-hmm. This is just one of millions of stories. That's what we're remembering about Pulse. If that is true, and I think it is, it's beautifully said. Michelle Visage beautifully says it 3 years ago. That's why Stonewall and our celebration of Gay Pride Month and our celebration of the 50th anniversary of Stonewall in just 2 weeks is so important to all of us, because we still have a long way to go. And that is why we should remember Pulse. I really believe that. I've done the best I could tonight. This has been very hard. It's a hard story to tell.
But you did
I know you all have similar kinds of stories. I know all of you at home watching have similar kinds of stories. People in this bar right now have similar kinds of stories.
And now you all know Al is human.
Okay, that's our show tonight. We celebrate. We do. This is a celebration. You can celebrate with tears.
Yeah.
You can celebrate with tears.
Absolutely.
We remember all of those affected by Pulse. We're still here. We are the lucky ones to continue to push the banner forward. So before we say goodnight, as we always do, we give the opportunity for the host to say goodnight on their own. And we begin with Power Infiniti.
Well, usually I say good night, children, but tonight I'm going to say not only good night, but hello to a brand new day, because as Pulse, one thing that Pulse did teach us and teach the world is that we are resilient. And so as we celebrate Pride this year, we celebrate not only our victories, but our losses and our loves. and this being one of them, but it has made us stronger as a community. So good night and hello.
I'm going to say good night, and in light of this month, you guys, please, the world needs some gentleness. So start with being gentle with yourself and spread that gentleness around the world right now.
Good night to everyone that's gay in Orlando and is having a time through it tonight. I hope you guys are celebrating. I'll be up there too, and join me at the party. It'll be fun, but use this as a moment to really appreciate being gay and to stand for gay pride. I know I'll be doing that, and I would love to see you guys there, proud and happy. Good night.
Joe?
I know Michelle talked about everyone in the world being gay, and my closing is usually good night, family. And I think that's more true now than ever. Good night, family. We love you.
Well, we remember Pulse, and we do it with a lot of love. We celebrate Stonewall. We're going to celebrate in the gayest place on planet Earth on Saturday. It's going to be a great party that kicks off on Friday, and then we march to New York City, and arguably probably the gayest celebration in the history of the world is going to take place in our 50th anniversary. We always tell you, America, that we believe in trying to find gay culture, and that we're looking for a gay community. And I hope tonight is a glimpse that gay community exists, and it really is required to exist, because we still have a long way to go. So remember, America, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America.
Good night.
Good night.